This is Brian, ScreenFiles.com in review. I've just finished watching Equalizer 2, which, like the first movie, is based on the CBS television series that ran from 1985 to 1989, starring Edward Woodward. The movie version stars Denzel Washington. This movie improves some things from the first movie, while unfortunately doubles down on some things that make the first movie somewhat weak. Some of the good stuff is the action. Very kinetic, very fast-paced, without being confusing to watch. And it manages to make Denzel Washington, who I suspect is not the most active man on earth, look really physical, which is nice. The stories tend to be very layered also, which is a nice thing. And he's a very appealing actor, and the character is one that's just interesting to watch. Another good thing about the Equalizer 2 over the first movie is that he's supposed to have ADHD, or I believe he's somewhere on an autism scale, something revolving around that type of thing. Now the problem with this is that if that's autism, I want it, because he has a super memory, it memorizes every little detail of a scene, and he's able to act on it with efficiency. There's no downside to this. This is what I like to call the predator problem. If you have autism, it's generally not a good thing. It doesn't give you superpowers, which he had in the first movie. They touch on it a little in the second, but they don't spend quite so much time messing with it. And I thank the gods for it, because it makes it more of an action movie without this almost supernatural autism-enhanced powers. In the first movie, he was literally an X-Man. In fact, the character from The Predator, the kid, who the Predators want because of his autism, I didn't make that up, is virtually a super character. He has superpowers. And in the not-so-great column is that this movie is 2 hours. This movie would have been a perfect hour and a half. Hour and 40 minutes tops. But at 2 hours, it drags. In fact, I would argue that at the 1 hour mark is when things really start to build momentum and it really starts to work. But prior to that, it just doesn't. And part of that's because it does a lot of setup, and it shows you some of the people in his life, as well as him doing some equalizing. I believe at least twice, in fact. Now, the movie should have cut one of those situations. Why? Because there's an entire movie, Equalizer 1, where we know exactly what Denzel Washington is doing. We don't need this movie to essentially, it shows rather than tells, which is nice, but we still don't need another movie to essentially rehash what he's already doing. Use one of those scenes, introduce us to what he's doing, then move on to the main storyline. So, The Equalizer 2 is a pretty good movie, but my God, I know it's hard for people, for directors, to trim down something they love. I get that. I really, really do. But at the same time, this movie does not benefit from 2 hours. It takes too long to build momentum. And it reminds me so much of the Marvel Netflix television shows, which tended to be 13 episodes. They did not need to be 13 episodes. They would have been better served with 8 to 10 episodes. Why? It would force the writers to get rid of extraneous characters and to move towards the action at a more satisfactory speed. So, Equalizer 2, especially if you saw the first one, is pretty good. Antoine Fuqua, the director, is probably the premier action director working today. And he does a commendable job. He does small character moments as well as big set pieces. But, as I said earlier, this movie is just too long. If it were cut by a half hour, you'd have a tauter movie, but also a much better movie. If If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's streaming in various places, I would assume, available via Redbox, iTunes, and so on. This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review. Peace.